Hi everyone, I'm trying to figure out the how I'm gonna put the camera and everything. Sorry. Yeah, I think I'm on. I don't know. Let me know. I have my laptop here to be able to see all the questions that you may have. Let me know if you can see me, and if not, I know there is a delay of 15-20 seconds. I'm sorry, it's my first live giving a class about doing something, so forgive me. Well, hope everybody's doing well. My name is Rona from Rona's Cookies. I'm going to introduce myself just a bit for all of those that are here. Hi, Grammy. I'm Lebanese, married to a Puerto Rican. My husband is Puerto Rican. I grew up in Lebanon, so that's why I know how to do baklava. And the one that I'm going to teach you today, it will be the traditional Lebanese way. Hi, Christy. Thank you. You won't see me, guys, here because I have my laptop here. So, and like that, I can see the questions that you may ask and whatever. So, yeah. So, like I mentioned, I'm Lebanese, so that's why I know how to do a baklava. So you will learn the traditional way. I know that a lot of people were asking, because some don't like it because it's made with honey. This recipe has no honey at all. The honey is in the shelf. So we're not going to use honey at all. Sorry about that. So you will be learning the traditional baklava, and I made a trick with the baklava, and I made them with the shells. So, sorry, I was eating pizza before coming here, so I'm like a bit, and I'm nervous too, so. So these are the phyllo shells. So these are perfect to make the baklavas as pie. So baklava tends to be very messy once they're being taken. Different types, yes, Christy. There are different types of baklava. So there is the Lebanese baklava, which is made with homemade syrup, which is the ateb, called in Arabic. Yes, I know Arabic. And the Greek or Turkish way, which is made with honey. So the Turkish way does not have this syrup, does not have the baklava being a bit soaked with syrup. So they make a type of honey rice. So that's why it's so it's very like very sweet, very hard to eat sometimes. Like for me, I don't like honey on all the sweets. So for me, I cannot pass it. You can't even ask my husband. We tried it once and I was like, no, I cannot eat it. So, yeah, I'm trying to see the comments. I don't know how to amplify it, so I will be able to see it. So I will try to, sorry about that. That's the snack area, so I will try to see your comments as I go. So yes, so there are different variations. So the Lebanese one is made with the simple syrup, which I'm going to be teaching you today. And the Greek or Turkish one is made with a honey-based syrup. So like I told you, the traditional baklava way is the one that I'm going to teach you. But also I'm going to teach you the tweak that I did, a modernized baklava, which is perfect for appetizers or events, which is the baklava bites. So the baklava bites are made with these shells. If you don't find this, these shells are very easy to do. They're very easy to make. So I will teach you also how to make them if you only have the traditional ones. So for those looking for the box for the phyllo dough, this is the one that I use. There are different brands, but these are the very thin phyllo sheets, hair thin. So they have to be that extremely thin so that you can have that flaky texture. So I just opened the box for the shell. So this is how the shells look like. So as you can see, they're just phyllo. They're already pre-baked. So these are very easy, very simple to do. You don't need butter for this one. So the amount of the ingredients is going to be way less than the traditional one. So if you want to sell them, the most profitable ones are these. So if you do the phyllo, the bites, these are more profitable. Since this Walmart cost me like $2.70 something, brings 15. The amount of nuts, walnuts or almonds that you want to put in, or pistachios, you can do with different kind of nuts. The amount that goes here is basically like a half tablespoon. You can press a bit more. Doesn't need butter, so it's something less that you need to add, something less that you need to count. These I sell them the whole pack, 15. So I sell this for $15. Depending on your area, I sell each bite for $1. So let me put this to the side. Let me take this to the other side here. So let me put this here. So I work two size pans. So I work the 8x8 and the 9x13. So this is the 9x13 and the 8x8. From this one, depending how you cut them, I try to cut them that it's also like a bite size. So you can have between 20 to 25, if not more, bites or slices. This one, depending how you cut it, how big, I try to also cut it as small as possible, not too small, but that it can be just a bite. This one can have around 40 slices. This one I sell for 20, and this one I sell for 35, but because everything is increasing right now, I will be raising my prices. This one will be 40 and this one will be 25. The bites, I'm still thinking if I'm going to be increasing also the price for that, because the shells has been the same price. It hasn't increased, but the walnuts has increased. So this is what these are the walnuts that I use. Normally I get the great value, but you can use any that you want as long as you sorry, got blood. You'll pay more, labor of love. So the bites are not that complicated to do. Yes, the trays are a bit tedious to do. You will see it right now how I make them. But the bites are not so hard to do. Yes, I know that the slices, you can buy them like a big slice, this size, slice $4 per slice. But I believe that the tray, because I don't do it constantly, I do them by order just on holidays, for example, Thanksgiving, Christmas, whenever there is a family meal. So I offer the baklava trays. Whenever there is a family meal, I offer them, like for example, Thanksgiving, like I mentioned, Christmas, Mother's Day, but I didn't offer for this Mother's Day because all the holidays have been back to back this year. But I will be offering them for the 4th of July since everybody's like gathering together, celebrating the 4th of July. So I will be offering it that time also. Other than that, so I'm gonna start with preparing the syrup. So the syrup, there's two ways that you can prepare them. If you want to prepare them the traditional way, or the Americanized way. So this is what I used for the syrup. So this is orange blossom. Yes, it's in Arabic. I buy it from a Lebanese market. This is the orange blossom and this is the rose water. I use this for my recipe, but for you guys, this can be optional. You can use either, instead of the orange blossom, you can use lemon juice, and you can use orange peel. So you can use those to have that flavor that we're looking for the syrup. But if you want a bit more aromatic, more traditional way, these are the ones that I use: rose water and orange blossom. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm trying to look and see. I'm trying to see and catch up. I know there is a delay. So yes, so there are different variations. I'm hearing myself right now. Okay, I think I got it now. Sorry, it's my first time ever. But yes, so this is what I do. So I'm gonna start with the syrup. Let me take my phone off here. I'm here. So the syrup is pretty simple. What we will need is 2 cups of sugar and 1 cup of water. Okay, so I'm gonna grab my sugar. But this recipe, I'm gonna make it more than 2 cups because I'm gonna be making the bites plus the plus 2 trays. So I'm gonna double the amount. So I'm gonna do 2 cups of sugar. Let me see how I can do this in a better way. And 4 cups of water. 2 cups of water and 1/4 of sugar. So this will be, they can stay fresh up to 5 days. All depend on how you storage them. They can stay in room temperature. They don't need to be refrigerated. They can stay in room temperature in an airtight container. So what I do is that because I use these foil cans, they come with a lid. So I just use that lid on top of it. And they can last 5 days up to a week. As long as they're not, it's the same way as the cookies. As long as they're not exposed to heat, excess moisture, it should be fine. You can freeze it raw if you want. It can be, you can freeze it. It will not dry if you have it raw. You can freeze it. So yes. So right now I have it in high temperature. So I have it in high, and I'm gonna be stirring it. So I have my sugar and my water. So what I need for this is to dissolve completely. So the reason why I'm starting with this is because this syrup has to be in room temperature when I use it for the baklava. So the baklava needs to be, yes, freezing can be a huge time saver. Normally, I don't freeze because again, I'm used to it. So for me, it's easy to just prepare the trays and that's it. But yes, you can freeze it. Just wrap it with saran paper, saran wrap, and that's it. So as I mentioned, we're going to be preparing this syrup first. We need to, once we prepare the syrup, it has to cool down, be in room temperature for when it's ready to be used. So this live will be split in 2 because I don't believe that the tray will be ready. The tray will take around 40 minutes to be cooked before I do this. So I will guide you through the preparation, pause the live, and then come back once the tray is done. So We're gonna dissolve this. We have to bring this to a boiling point. Keep it boiling for about 5 to 10 minutes so that it can thicken a bit. Once that happens, we turn off the heat, and then once it's turned off, just take it out away from the heat and add the lemon and the peel, the orange peel. I add the blossom water and the rose water. So I'm waiting for this to boil up. So again, we're using 2 cups of sugar, 1 cup of water. This is a double portion since I'm going to be doing 2 trays and 30 bites. So this is a bit of a double portion. So again, this is the traditional Lebanese way. We don't use honey. I know that before I was asked if it was made with honey months ago, and I said no. And it was a surprise for a lot of people. So, so this is the Lebanese traditional way. So we're going to be making our own simple syrup. We're going to keep stirring it. So I've been asked if this can be vegan. Yes, it can be vegan. The only thing you need to do is change the butter. So instead of using traditional butter, you can use plant-based butter, and that's it. But it cannot be gluten-free because of the phyllo dough. If you're able to find a gluten-free phyllo dough, then you can make it. But so far, I've been asked and I haven't found any gluten-free phyllo dough. So now it's starting to like dissolve. And this syrup, as it starts to cool down, it's gonna thicken also, so that's why I'm not gonna make it boil more than 10 minutes. Because once it starts to cool down, it's gonna be also, it's gonna start thickening too. I don't want it to be too thick because the baklava, once it's hot, I pour this over the baklava, it will soak, it will absorb all this syrup. So what will happen is, because the syrup is in temperature, room temperature, and the baklava is hot, the bottom of the baklava will be a bit gooey, but it will remain being flaky. So it doesn't matter if 2 days have passed, 3 days, the baklava will still be flaky and will not be gooey or soggy. So again, we're going to let it boil. From where are you getting connected? Hi, Nicole. How are you? I love your baby shower cookies and chocolate covered strawberries. So here it started to boil. We're gonna leave it to boil for a couple of minutes. We have to be careful that it doesn't burn out, obviously. So you can add at this point, if you want, the orange and lemon peel. Let it boil for a couple of minutes. and then take it out once you're gonna let it simmer. So for those that are joining now, we're doing the syrup for the baklava. So we poured 2 cups of sugar, 1 cup of water. This is a double portion since I'm making 2 trays. So we're gonna put 2 cups of water. 2 cups of sugar, 1 cup of water. Let it see de Puerto Rico. So we're gonna let it boil for a bit. Tina, I posted the recipe yesterday, but I can share it on the event so that you can have it of what is needed for today for those that were gonna be baking along with me. So I'm just waiting for this to boil a bit longer. You're welcome. While this is boiling, you can continue doing other stuff, but I want to guide you step by step, and I don't want you to get lost with me doing a lot of things at once. But while I'm doing this, I will be preparing my butter because we need clarified butter for this baklava, and we need has to be obviously melted, and I need the walnut mixture ready. So okay, so I think this is good. So this is good. Let me turn around this. No, not this way. Sorry. Again, I'm sorry. This is the first time I do a live. So, okay, so this is the syrup. I don't know if you can see. So I removed it from the heat. So at this point, what you can do, you can add your lemon juice to it. But if you're going to be using the recipe as I'm using it the traditional way with the orange blossom water and the rose water, this is the time that I'm going to be pouring it. Because I'm an eye person, even though I included that on the page. So I use 2 cups of orange blossom. This is gourmet steel. I bought it from Walmart. And I'm putting 1 cup of rose water. I'm gonna mix it a bit. And we're done with this. So this, I'm gonna put it to a side. Here. I'm gonna bring this here. So now, I'm gonna let that sit for a moment because that needs to be in cool temperature. So what I'm gonna be doing is preparing the ghee or the clarified butter. So you need, if you're gonna be doing an 8x8 tray, you will need 4 sticks of salted water, butter, or just 1 box. But again, because I'm doing more than, no, Tammy, I don't use it because what I use is this. I use the rose water. Let me turn this camera around. So what I use is this, rose water and orange blossom water. So this is the Lebanese traditional way. But you can substitute this with the lemon juice and the orange peel. Okay? You can substitute this. But if you want to do it the traditional Lebanese way, have that aromatic flavor, this is what we use. The orange blossom and the rose water. Okay? Normally we use double the portion for this, 2 and 1. Because this is a very strong flavor. The rose water, it's very strong, so this I use half the portion of the orange blossom. So yes, the other way, if you find edible roses, they're like this dried rose that you use for juices, you can just put a petal 2 on that syrup and that will work. Okay, so let me know. Let me now turn this around. That light is not helping. I have 2 lights up here, so it's not going to be helping. So right now we're going to be preparing the clarified butter or the ghee. So I use salted butter, which by the way, they're getting expensive. So that's why I was saying earlier that I'm going to be raising my prices for the trays. So for those that are joining, I work with 2 different size trays. So this is the 8x8 and this is the 9x13. This can make up to 20, 25 pieces of baklava. And this one can do about 40 to 45, all depending on how you cut them. And we're going to be doing also the baklava bites. This is also, you can find them in Walmart and Publix. For this one, you don't need the butter. So the butter is for the trays. This one does not need the butter because the filo is already prepared. But if you don't find those shells, those filos can be done. You get a round cutter. You can have a round cutter and cut the filo. Sorry. Okay, let me see. They're asking me. It's blurry. Let me see. Is it better? I was told that the lens is a bit blurry. Is it better? I believe so. I can see myself better. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Nicole, the rose water in Puerto Rico es el agua de azahar. Agua de azahar. The one that normally they give when you're nervous so that you can relax. That. But you can also find it in Mediterranean markets. Puerto Rico and Rio Piedra. You can find it. So how to make the... Oh, thank you, Tina. I'm nervous. I've never done this. Well, the rose water by itself tends to be intense. So that's why we don't use that much. It's just a bit. Half of the portion that we use for the orange blossom to just give that that sweetness, that rosy flavor. In Lebanon, we do a lot of sweets with rose water. You can do even rose juice. Oh, a lot of things. So right now I'm opening the butter for the. So in this case, I'm gonna be using only 6 bars because I'm making a big tray and a small tray. I don't need the butter for the bites. So the clarified butter, we're gonna be melting this butter, and we have to let it melt completely. And once it melts, you're gonna see that the butter is gonna be divided. So you will be having the milk residue on the top and the clear butter on the bottom. Let me show you, because right now it's melting. You're gonna see my son is walking around, because whenever I do a live for my page, he comes and he wants to be part of it. So see how it's starting to divide? So you will see, let me get the brush in here. So see how it divides? So that top part, we don't need that. Because what will happen is that if we use this, we pour this. Oh, sorry, Cynthia, because I was opening the butter and putting them here in the pan. So what you will see how it divides? So we don't need this upper part. This we can take it away and throw it out. Because what will happen is that when you pour this in the baklava will turn black. So it will burn out. So we need the clarified butter. So we're going to be melting this butter out. Let me get, I'm trying to get a spoon. So see, so this is what we don't need, okay? Because what will happen, again, when you pour it over the baklava and it's cooking, it will create black residue on top of the baklava. And for some people, it's not appealing. You can eat it anyways. You don't have a taste. It's just butter. But for, obviously, for us for us baker, we want our product to look as appetizing as possible, right? So we don't want to put this part on the baklava. So we're going to be removing this. Let me grab a spoon. Come on. Sorry, I'm getting a spoon. So let me take all this out. So let me take all this garbage out. I'm taking the butter. So I'm gonna show you how I do all that. So you're gonna start grabbing this out. And again, it will separate on the bowl that you have. And I'm gonna remove then the upper part, throw it away, and keep the remaining. So now this butter has melted. Well, it still needs a bit more. So we need to remove this upper part. I need it to melt completely. I still have pieces of butter. See how it gets? This is the milk residue, so this will turn your baklava having black. Okay, so I don't have one. That's a problem. I don't have one. Let me take it out of the heat. You can also use unsalted butter. It will have the same effect. So you know what? I'm gonna let this rest a bit because it's getting so difficult right now. It's being a pain. I've never had to deal with it so badly. Yes, that's the milk solids. But normally, because I prepared this ahead of time, I don't have to struggle with it so much. But because I'm doing this live, but see how it clarifies? See? So we just need to take this out. Which, to be honest, you can leave this to the last, because we need the butter anyways for the molds. So you need this butter for the mold anyway, to grease the mold. So, oh, we're seeing light. This is what we have been taking out so far. But to be honest, the unsalted butter does not have as much. So if you want to use unsalted butter, you can. The purpose of the salted butter is to lower the sweetness of it. So you can use it to grease the mold if you want, because at the end of the day, you can use the whole thing. So, but if you want, you can use unsalted butter. Doesn't have as much, and you don't have to be like clarifying this. I believe that we are almost done. And I think I will need more butter. No, you can use it for the mold. Don't worry about it. To grease the mold. So let's clean this spoon. So I believe we're almost done. Okay. So after hard work, thank you ladies for helping me here. This being a struggle, so this is the whole thing. As you can see, there is still some clarified butter, so obviously it's gonna go down. But again, we can use this to grease the mold. So let me put this back here. Okay. I'm gonna need this for last, so we can work on it. My blender. I think I'm gonna be here because the laptop is taking the space that I need. So let me pass this. I don't need the sugar anymore. So there are some recipes that the nuts, they pour some sugar on it. I don't. Because, I don't know if you can see me. I don't pour sugar on the nuts because with the syrup itself, it's gonna be sweet enough. So I don't pour any sugar on when I'm blending the nuts. So you can do it with either the walnuts, that's the traditional way. You can do it with pistachios, and you can do it with cream cheese. So that's the cheese baklava. So that's my husband's favorite. So what I do is that the cream cheese, I blend it with a bit of honey and pecans. and just spread it and do some rolls, okay? And you do it the same, you prepare the tray. It's a bit different because you don't have to do the layers, but do like little cigars and put them on the tray, cook it, and then pour the syrup on top of it. So now we're gonna be doing the, let me turn it around. I don't know if you can see, let me know. Oh yes, I like the cheese one because it's not too sweet. You can mix the cream cheese with a bit of ricotta if you want. So this is my walnuts. I'm gonna pour the whole thing here. Oh, Tammy, it's delicious. Yep, you're gonna like it. So you're gonna so there are people that are allergic to cinnamon, so you can leave it without cinnamon. That's fine. You can leave it without cinnamon. Some recipes do not put that cinnamon. I include the cinnamon because it will give a bit of a spice to the baklava. That kick, that hint of I like it. So I do it by eye, but you can follow the recipe that I posted. I will post it again. But technically I put 2 tablespoons of cinnamon. And just 1 tiny bit of nutmeg. And again, I'm not measuring it because I know it by eye. I just sent you the, I included the recipe on the main page and in the baking sugar cookies. So please close your ears. We need it extremely fine. I made that, oops, so don't worry about it. So this is what we're looking for. This is what we're looking for. Very fine walnuts. And you're going to see the reason why. Because this can go a long way. Okay? This can go a long way in the baklava tray, and you can spread as much as possible. Okay? So I believe I have to mince it a bit more. Let's do it another turn. I'm sorry. So this is ready. I'm taking this out. So now we have the syrup cooling down. I don't need this anymore, so let me put them up here. So we have the syrup cooling down. We have our clarified butter ready. We have our mixture ready. So now it's assembling time. Okay? So let me take this out. I don't need this. So I'm gonna start with the big tray, okay? So the phyllo dough has to be room temperature, has to be thawed down, but you have to be very, very careful. Phyllo dough tend to dry pretty fast. So what we need to do is you're gonna grab a towel or napkins. This is the napkin I'm going to be using. We're going to wet it a bit humid, so that we can cover our phyllo sheet while we're working on the tray. Okay? So let me get this wet. I have another spoon for this mixture. Hi, Julie. Yes, it just takes you back home. I know. I'm gonna cry. It's nice seeing a fellow Lebanese watching my tutorial for baklava. So I'm about to cry now. I've been away from home for so long that you tend to miss it too much. So yes. So I'm gonna open my baklava. Don't worry, all my counter space is clean. So, and this is for some friends, and this is for home and some friends. So this is the phyllo sheet. I just opened it. I'm gonna show you what one sheet looks like. Your hands have to be dry because the phyllo sheet will crinkle fast. And it's very difficult to get just one out. So this is the phyllo. See, it breaks easily. So this is the phyllo sheet. See how thin it is? And it easily breaks. So yes, I'm gonna put my damp paper towel on top. I'm gonna turn the camera now so you can see how I prepare this. So I'm gonna change how I do this. So I'm gonna turn my tray by the oven close to the butter because the butter and this pan are gonna be best friends. So let me change how this is. And let me change this. Let me know if you can see it. I know I'm shaking. I'm trying to put this in a way that doesn't fall. Can you see it? Let me know. I'm sweating. I'm sweating here. I'm sweating. Okay. So this is our tray. The butter is here. I have my nuts in here. So look how fine these nuts are. We need them this fine. Okay? See how fine they are? So this is how thin the walnuts or whatever nuts you're using should be. Okay? So now I'm gonna take let me pour a bit of here. of the ghee with the milk residue, because the purpose of the butter at the bottom is so that the pillow doesn't stick, doesn't get glued to the bottom. So we're gonna put butter all around. Oops, I made an oopsie here. All around, okay? So once this is done, we're gonna take around 7 sheets of phyllo dough to the bottom. Roughly like 7. Just like, I don't count them, I just grab like this thick. And put them here. It's still too thin, so I didn't grab like 7. So let me grab a couple more. So we have the phyllo sheet resting here. And now again, we're gonna pour just a tiny bit of butter. Oh, you have to be careful. I'm trying to go fast, but because it's too delicate, we need to be very, very careful with it. Okay, and now we're gonna grab our mix and start just sparkling around in thin layers. Some people just put a very thick layer on it. What will happen is that your baklava will break because there's not enough support. So I'm gonna just sprinkle up. So there I had an oops, so with the spoon I just spread it around. And just sprinkle. So it should be looking something like this, okay? So now we have to put another layer of phyllo. This time we're gonna put like 2. So it's gonna be a thin layer. And again, the butter. This time I do it sidewise so that I can hold it on the other end. So remember the one that we kept apart that has butter and some milk solid, so that's what I'm using. Because remember, the baklava will not turn black on the top because I'm gonna be using the ghee, the clarified butter. And now, let me take this plate out. We're gonna do the same thing again. So normally, what I do is I do 4 to 5 layers. The reason why is because I'm pouring so little of the nuts, because the purpose of this is having multiple layers, and when you grab your baklava, you cut it, the phyllo will be it will be blended through, so you will not see it because it's only like 2 sheets per floor. So we're gonna spray it a bit. Just a bit more here on the edges. See why you need the nuts so fine? Because you can spread it around, okay? You're gonna be able to spread it around and not having chunks in between, you know, because sometimes nuts are very hard to bite, and we don't want any accidents or any, you know, liability issues. Again, I'm gonna grab my 2 pillow sheets here. And again, always remember, you're covering, let me show you, you're covering your phyllo dough, you're covering with your wet paper towel. So now again, the butter. So this is pretty easy once you get the hang of it, because it's just a matter of layering. So just grabbing 2, 3 phyllo dough sheets and just layering around. But 1 pack will be enough for this this tray. So we have the, let's fold it a bit here since they're like piling up. Let's just fold them here. And again, we sprinkle around. So even though you're putting a thin layer of the nuts, because it's multiple levels, each bite will be full of walnuts. Just need a bit more here. So you have it here. Now we're gonna do our last layer. See, it looks like this because I have my wet towel on top of it. And now we do this one last time. Let me know if you have any questions. I have the laptop here, so I'm watching. And we're gonna put our last layer of walnuts. So normally I try, whenever I'm gonna put this in pre-order for the holidays, I try to sell 2 trays. So when I post it, I try to do it 2 by 2 because with 1 pound of walnuts and 2 packs of phyllo dough, 2 boxes, you can do the 2 trays easily. So you're investing around, I don't know, let's say $14, $15, but you're selling each one for $40. If you're gonna sell it for $40 or $35. So this is our last layer. Look here, I still have half of the walnuts available for another tray. So once that is done, the top layer has to be the thickest one because we want that flaky, that crunchy on top. So I'm gonna grab whatever is left, which I see it's like 6 to 7 sheets. You can add another flour if you want. You can always do so. You can add another layer. I'm gonna use another pack that I had open. so here is my last. So now, I don't have a knife or a spatula. Sorry, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be pushing to the inside just a bit, all this excess. This is not working for me. So we're gonna pushing this excess to the inside. Or you can just simply, this broke, or you can just simply fold it to the inside, okay? So, Nicole, this is phyllo. I'm gonna show you the box once I put this in the freezer. So this tray is ready. So I do not cut it right now. What I do is that I put it on the freezer for like 10 to 15 minutes. The reason why, so the clarified butter, Sandy, will be after I cut the phyllo. So right now, we need a sharp knife, but I'm not gonna cut it because this phyllo is so thawed that it will just wrinkle. So what I will do is that I put it on the freezer, so it's gonna be easier for us to cut it, okay? So let me put this here in the freezer for like 10 to 15 minutes while we work on the bites. I'm here again, sorry. So I just placed my tray in the freezer. So again, the reason why I do that is so that it will be easier for us to cut it. So the baklava traditional is cut in diamond shape. So for us to be able to cut it nicely and clean, I found out that putting it in the freezer for 10 to 15 minutes, it will help the baklava to settle. So when I cut it, because the butter is gonna get thick and it's gonna get solid, it will be better for us to cut it in diagonal, in diamond shape, okay? So let me show you the cheese that I was using. So this is the one that I was using to the big tray. I need to do an 8x8 tray, but that I will do after the live, since we need to do the bites. Only takes a couple of minutes. And I don't know if I took an hour. I don't know if you want to stay with me to do the second tray. It's up to you guys. But yes, so this is the one that I use for the traditional baklava. So baklava traditionally is made with phyllo sheets. So that's what I'm using, the phyllo sheets. Now, I reinvented baklava because baklava can be messy. So I was like, how can I do this less messy for corporate events? Because if you're going, sure, Sandy, well, I have a vote staying with me for the second tray. So whoever wants to say, just let me know, raise your hand on the comments. So for corporate orders, baklava tends to be messy. So I thought that this will be a more elegant look and obviously will be more appealing when you're having an event because you can just grab it and just have a bite, right? So that's what we're going to be doing now. Karen, I have a second vote to stay with me for the second tray. Because I have to do this one. So this one is, I need to take to an event tomorrow for friends. Okay, everybody's staying, so let's do the second tray. You won. Okay, so I took extra phyllo out and I just opened it. So because I thought it was going to take more than that, I thought I was going to do more layers. But if you open your phyllo dough, if you have a vacuum seal for food, you can seal it. or with the heat seal. Yes, Jessica, I'm gonna be doing both. I just finished my first tray. I need to do this small one, but I'm asking if you guys want me to do the second one now, and then jump to the bites. So if you open an additional one, like I did right now, I opened an extra one, thought that I was gonna use it, and I didn't use it. Get a Ziploc and just heat seal it, so that if you pop it up back in the freezer, it will stay fresh, okay? Remember, phyllo dough is very delicate, and it can absorb any others or any taste. So we have to be careful with this. Okay, so let's work with the second tray. So the second tray, these are the excess that I have. I'm gonna throw this out, I don't need it. So for the second tray, because it's smaller, you need to cut it. You need to cut the phyllo sheets. So let's try to do that. And I don't think that I will be needing both of them. I thought someone was walking behind me. So again, for those joining now, these are the phyllo. Look how thin they are. So these are the phyllo. Okay? So let me grab a knife here. Sharp knife, okay? Because we need to cut it in a way that can fit here and not overpower the tray, okay? So we need to actually, like an 8x8, I do it by eye, or you can just use this as a measurement on top of it. So I have the measurement here. So I just cut it. It didn't go through that much. I'm gonna turn the camera around so that you can see. Okay, so I cut it. It didn't go through all the way because there are too many layers, but here they are. Well, kitchen scissors, you're going to be moving the phyllo dough too much, and because these are too fragile, they can break in your hands with the scissors. So I just leave it as is and just pass the knife on top of it because this is too fragile, so I don't want it to break in my hands. Yes, if it breaks, you can use it anyways, because you can use it for the internal layers. People are not going to see the internal layers. You don't want it to be appealing in the inside because everything is going to be mixed in different layers. So, but I will leave the most perfectly looking to use it as my top layer. Okay? Just a hint. This, you can cut them in very small slices, deep fry it, add cinnamon and sugar, and you will think about me. So yeah, so now we're gonna be doing our other tray. So I don't know if you're, again, I'm too bad with the camera, guys. It's gonna fall. It's falling, it's falling, it's falling, don't fall. Oops, I did it again. Nicole, the shells, I'm gonna do it now with you guys. I'm gonna do both versions, the traditional and the bites. So again, we're gonna do this again, once again. We're gonna just put butter all around it. Doesn't have to be clarified butter. Can be the milk solids that we took apart, mixed with the clarified butter, as you can see, because this is for the bottom, for that gooiness on the bottom. So we have our first part. Again, we're gonna use like 7 layers on the bottom. I have more in here, so what I'm gonna do is just gonna grab a couple from here and do like this, because this is the other half that I cut. I want to leave that exact size for my top of the baklava. Walnut, cinnamon, and sugar. So this filo dough, you can just cut it in small slices, deep fry it, and put some sugar and cinnamon on it, like the churros. So again, we're gonna brush. We're gonna spread. Here, it's gonna go less amount of walnut, obviously because it's smaller. So we're just gonna spread around. Spread. And you're gonna get the hang of doing this pretty quick. Once you do it often, and you have all your ingredients accessible. So here I'm gonna put also the 2 layers. This one, as you can see, is shorter because it's the other part of the filo sheet that I used, because I want to leave the exact one for the top. For when I cut it, it will look very nice and not breaking parts of the dough around. So as you can see, 1 pound of 16 ounces of walnut is enough to prepare 2 trays. You can do even thinner layers. That's fine, because the more levels you do, the more they're going to be enjoying. So the cream cheese recipe, Sandy, it's pretty easy. So just grab cream cheese, add a bit of honey and pralines to it, and that's it. So what you're gonna do is that you spread it, instead of doing it in a tray like this, let's take this filo dough, you just put a bit of the cream cheese here, or you can just spread it around, whichever you like, but I just put a bit in here and roll it as cigars, okay? That's what I do. I know that the Philadelphia brand has already cream cheese with honey and pralines. They have one from the spreadables that they have. I know that they have the strawberry cream and the salmon one and the veggie ones. So they have one that is praline and honey. I tried that one and it's pretty awesome, to be honest. It's good. You don't have to be doing any mixture, and you don't need that much either. So again, we're going to spread here. A thin layer. And for that one, for the cheese one, Sandy, you will need the same thing as for the butter, the syrup. You need to do the same exact things. The only difference is that you're changing the filling of the baklava. See what I tell you dries out? I forgot to put my paper towel on top of it. So it's drying out and it's breaking. But since this is only as to cover my layer, let me just put the wet. So let me put the paper towel on top of it because it's drying out and it's breaking. So always remember, I know that right now with the live I'm forgetting some stuff, but always remember to leave your wet or damp paper towel on top of your filo because it's gonna break, okay? So now we're doing our last layer. This is our last layer. And now I'm gonna put my overloaded. So this one stayed short, so what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna grab 2 or 3. This is the importance of cutting it the exact size so that, okay, so this is the small tray. And again, we're gonna be folding this to the inside so that it can look decent. And not so many flaky on the outside. You don't have to fold the whole thing because it's good for it to look a bit of the flake, to keep the flakiness on the corners, but I don't like it too much, so I just fold it a bit. Here I folded it too much, and here you have it. This one, let me fold it just a bit because you have the other corners or the excess on the outside. So this tray again, we're gonna put it in the freezer for 10 minutes. So now we're gonna be working on the bites. We need this to get solidified a bit so that it will be easier for us to cut. So this is going to the freezer too. Okay, so now the easy part. I have some extra pillow here, so I'm just gonna roll it around. Okay. I'm gonna put this on the side. I'm gonna take all this paper out. So now, for the easy part. So the easy part will be this baby here. So for this one, you don't need butter. You don't need anything. The only thing you will need is the shells. Obviously, the simple syrup has to be cooling down, and we need the walnut mix. So these doesn't need anything because they already come pre-cooked. But again, if you can find this, whatever leftover you have for the pillow, I'm gonna take this for an example. So whatever leftover you have for the pillow, you can have, I can say like a 3-inch circle or a 2.5 circle cutter for the cookie cutters. Just cut it. And if you have small cupcakes mold, you will just, you're going to be needing a bit of butter. So you will need butter to create this if you don't find this in the supermarket. So if you have a small shape, a small cupcake mold, you're going to put that filo dough, you're going to put some butter around, you're going to put that filo that you cut, you're going to put it in there, just press down to create that cup texture, that cup form, and just put a bit more of butter inside, and you just put it in the oven for it to cook around, I can say like 15 to 20 minutes. So as long as you get this gold brown, your shape is done. Okay, so you can do that. If you don't find this in the supermarket. So this, if you have a Walmart near, you can find this in Walmart. If you have a Publix, you can find it in Publix. But if you don't find it at all, what you can do is that you can grab the, whatever, the filo sheets that you can find like this ones, and just get a cookie cutter. Get a 2.5 size cookie cutter, the mini cookie cutter, it's round, or the 3-inch, depending on the size that you want to make. In the cupcake mold, just brush the butter on it, put the filo, brush some butter too, and put it in the oven. Okay? And you can pre-make this, put them in airtight containers and to the freezer. Okay? Easy peasy. But because I'm not going to be doing all that work, I just buy it. Any questions so far? So I'm going to open the other one. So again, this is the easy part. You don't need butter. This is already pre-made. You don't need anything. You only need a tray, a cookie tray. You need these beauties and the mixture. I have some left from the other tray, so I'm going to use this, but I have pre-made also. So I'm going to be grabbing those. So you're going to get, I don't know if you can see here. So this is the cup. You can, let me get a measuring spoon because I believe it's going to be easier because it has that round shape. I got it. I'm here. So I believe with this it's going to be easier with the measuring cup. So this one is half tablespoon. So just grab the half tablespoon, put it inside, and there you got it. You can take any leftover that you may have to the side, and this is how it looks. Okay, and you keep doing that with all of them. So you have your cup, pour it there, press a bit. So each cup fits half tablespoon of your walnut mixture. I'm almost over here. Let me start preheating the oven because these are pretty simple. And I can just put them in the oven. So you're going to be preheating your oven to 350. So I started preheating my oven because, I make a boo-boo. So if you preheat, just preheat your oven while you're doing those because these are pretty easy. Let me clean this. Back here, putting the shells. So this is how I place them in my cookie pan. They can be close to each other. They're not going to spread. They're not going to be doing anything. So you can just place them like this. So they should be fine. Okay. So I just use my traditional cookie pan. And then again, let me just switch it here so you can see me. So I'm gonna put the mixture in here and into the tray. I don't know if you can see me better, just let me know. You're too quiet, you're too quiet. So I'm gonna grab another. See, I'm clumsy. And I just cleaned the house. So let's grab whatever mixture is left here. Grab a cup, just put this, press a bit, and to our tray. So it's done. I finished mine. Love the smell. So this is the one pre-made that I had. I'm gonna pour a bit. I'm not gonna pour the whole thing because I don't need the whole thing. So again, I'm gonna pour. I'm gonna grab half a cup, half tablespoon, press it. So this one is a bit, this one was a pre-made that I had. So as you can see, the chunks are thicker. So for this one it's fine because they're just gonna be in the cup. They're not gonna be spread around. So see how easy. So we're gonna grab it, pour, press, and we're done. So as you can see, this is why I call them baklava bites, because this is just a bite. Just put it in your mouth and you have the bite. It has the perfect amount of phyllo dough with the perfect amount of walnuts. So these do not require too much to be baking in. 10 minutes at 350 and you're done. So as you can see, they don't take too much to be done. These are the easiest one to make. So I finished the first 15. You're hearing my kids in the background. So when you're grabbing this, you can see the oily. This is the butter. Because like I mentioned, you just need to pour a bit of butter if you're gonna be doing this. And if you don't find the cups and you're gonna be doing them from scratch, you need to pour some butter on the cupcake mold so that it doesn't stick to the mold. Or you can just spray you can always spray this. You can spray this. And you should not be having any problems. Okay? But I don't recommend that for the tray itself, for the baklava tray, the traditional one. Because we want that gooiness in the bottom. These ones, they don't need that gooiness because they're crunchy already. So. I'm gonna give you a look for how the tray is looking. So this is our tray. You can just move so that they can fit all together. Move them a bit more. Place 5 per row. Because these are not gonna spread, so they don't need to be that far from each other. So we're almost done. Again, I run short. I'm gonna pour from my pre-made mix. Just a tiny bit because I don't need that much. We'll work on the last 3. So see how simple these ones are? You don't have the struggle of making the whole tray layer by layer. And these are perfect for corporate events, for weddings, because these are just bite size. And just to give you a heads up, they're addictive. You can never get enough. So I'm done with my last one. So this is what we're looking for. I don't know if you can see it. No, I put them in trays. So I get these trays from Dollar Tree, and you can place them in here. You can always place them in here, more presentable, just put them here and just a wrap, and that's it. You can put them in here, but I don't know how they will. Well, they look okay, but I don't know. So this is how it will look. It's an option, but you can always put them in those cheap aluminum foils from Dollar Tree. They cost 2 for $1.25. You can put them there. You can put them in here. There are different options on how you want to pack them. Let me show you. So these are from Dollar Tree, and they're 2 for $1.25. So they're not expensive. You can use this if you're selling 15 by 15. If you're selling more than 15, like for this one, this is for an event that I have tomorrow, I will put them in this clear one over the other, like a pyramid in this tray. So it all depends on what you, on your preference. But normally I get them in orders of 15, so it's just one tray. So I just sell them in this one. These ones you can get them from the dollar store. They're $1.25. I got them before they up their prices, so I got them at $1. So, but yes, you can just put them in here. It's up to you. It's your preference, your clients. You know your clients better than anyone else, so you know what their preference is. But so far, I live in Tampa, so my clients, they don't have a preference because they're just for gatherings. They're gonna just remove it from here to put them in their specific trays or platters for their getting together. So for their get together. So I just put them in this and just give it to them. Very important, when you're selling this, you have to have labels because I live in Florida. Per my cottage law, I have to include everything, and the baklava has a lot of allergens, like for example the nuts, the cinnamon. So you rather have your full label. I'm gonna show you my label. So my oven is already preheated. I have a bunch of labels, so let me see if I have the baklava one here. I have labels for chocolate bombs. I have labels for my Puerto Rican almond cake. I have Merry Christmas labels, but I don't find the baklava labels. They should be here because I didn't do. Come on. ¿Me puedes imprimir un label de baklava? I'm sorry, I don't find my labels. My husband's gonna print one so that you can see how the labels are. So it's very important that you include the nuts, obviously, the cinnamon, because there are a lot of people that are allergic to cinnamons. So it's very important that you include that. So my oven just rang, so it's preheated to 350. Let's put this inside. We're gonna put the timer for 10 minutes. While this is baking, we are gonna be cutting our tray. We're gonna put the timer. So the syrup is already room temperature. So okay, so once those are done, you can hear the sizzling of those baklava bites once I put the syrup. So let's take the big tray out. Okay, so there is a way in which it's cut, which I can upload the photo to the page, to the group. Okay, so let's hope that it doesn't fall. So we have our sharp knife. You have to be very careful with this tip that doesn't break the aluminum foil, okay? Because otherwise what will happen is that all the syrup and the butter will go underneath it and we're gonna be having a mess. So what I do is that I cut first in half. I'm holding both sides so that it doesn't. So I cut it in half. I cut the other half. This half. That's 2. Now I do 3. We have the first half, we're gonna cut it. So again, it's very cold. The butter has settled, everything has settled, so it's not gonna crinkle. So we have this in 4 slices, so I'm gonna now do the diagonals. So I'm gonna start from the very first end here and finish in this other end. So I'm gonna cut it. I'm holding it so that it doesn't bend or break. And now we're going to continue this pattern. So these ones are pretty big. I'm cutting it this way because this is for my house. But you need to cut it a bit, again, this shape like this, another half, if you're going to sell it. If you're going to sell it, you need to do this 7 times. So I'm going to cut it as if I'm selling it so that you can see how it's going to end up once it's baked. And then again, I cut it here, it's here. Okay, so we're gonna finish our diagonals. See how the flakes are starting to get out? So this is why I hold them. And my last cut in here. And then I'm cutting here. See how it's going out? You need to be very, very careful. I just pour the fingers where I'm cutting so that it doesn't get out of. I use my nails to make the pressure so that my fingers don't get this fill out. And this is my last cut. Okay, so this is how it looks. Okay, so if we look, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41 pieces in this tray. This tray I sell it for 35. I will be raising my prices to 40 maybe, unless I do less layers. This one was, I believe, a 4 layer and not a 5 layer. So now, let me just raise this a bit. I'm gonna get my spoon, this spoon, because I'm gonna put the clarified butter on top of it. So if you're only doing one tray, you only need 4 bars of salted butter. So you're gonna pour the whole thing on top. We're gonna just pour it spread like this. And this is the clarified butter or degree. I'm gonna tap it so that it can go all the way down too. I'm gonna spread it like this so that all the corners get to be soaked with the clarified butter. So this is our tray. So we have our first full tray. This goes into the oven for 350 degrees for about, depending on your oven, between 35 to 40 minutes or until golden brown gold. Okay? So this goes into the oven for 350 degrees, and we're gonna put it for 35 to 45 minutes depending on your oven, or until golden brown. Any questions so far? We have 2 minutes for the bites to be done, and then we can sizzle the syrup. Oh, they're just done in less than. So this is done. Finished before time. So I'm gonna put my other tray. Put put the timer. I will start with 35 minutes. And I'm gonna get the spoon. And let the fun begin. You're gonna hear this sizzling. When you hear that sizzling is when you know that this is done. Can you hear it? Can you hear the sizzling? Or do I need to lower the phone? When you hear that, that means that that baklava is done. You just put like half of tablespoon. I just burnt myself, sorry. So these are the bites, and as you can see, they're pretty simple, easy, and quick to do. I'm just making sure that every single one is glossy, which means that we poured our syrup. If you feel like you haven't poured enough, you can just pour a tiny bit extra, because since you heard that sizzling, what will happen is that it will stay crunchy. It will not be soggy or anything. So this is our baklava bite. This is our baklava bite. We just made 30 in less than 20 minutes. So this is easy and pretty simple to do. So for the labels, this is my label. So we need to detail everything about it. So the filo dough, this is not the updated one. My husband printed this on a paper. This is not the updated one. So the filo, you have to put all the ingredients of the filo on it, and the butter and the walnuts. So this is not the updated one though. Sorry, this is not it. I was gonna give you the labels. But now we have the other one baking. We can cut the other one that we have on the freezer. I believe it's already settled. Yes, it is. Let me just give this a try. Oh, sorry. Ow! I just got burned. Let me take this out. Even the rag got too hot. take this out. Wash my hands. So this is going to be the same thing. So we're going to cut it in half. We're going to cut it in 4 parts, equal parts. We're going to cut it here. And then again, we're going to do our diagonal cut. And then another one here. And we end it here because that small one doesn't need to be cut. We end it here. We're going to do our other side here. And then here. And this one can stay like that. So this is the second tray. We're going to do the same thing with our clarified butter. We're just going to spread it around. Okay, we are having a bit of a complication, so let's just put it this way. See, so this will give you a black residue when you bake your baklava. Okay, so I'm gonna just pour until there. So this is what we have as a residue for our butter. And again, let's just, for the small one, you only need half of what you need for the big ones. So for this one, you only need 2 bars of salted butter, 1 cup of walnuts, and 1 packet, just 1 of these of fiddle dough. So I'm gonna put this with the other tray. It's been only like 5 minutes in there. Ouch, sorry. So both are in the oven right now. It will take about, based on the timer, 25 minutes to 30 minutes. I will be looking into those, following up on those. They should be golden brown. That's when you know they're ready. They don't need that much to be baked for. So as long as they're golden brown, you're fine. Just take them out, and we can end the live now. And after 25 minutes, if you want, we can come back, do the live again, so that you can see how I pour the syrup on top. Okay, what do you think? And if you have any questions, just go ahead. You can ask me anything. Just let me know. You want to look at the bites? They look good. So I will wait a couple of seconds. If you have any questions, just go ahead. If not, we can just then end this live and come back in 25 minutes, about 25 minutes. To be honest, Linda, I don't know for the honey because I don't know that recipe. I know the traditional Lebanese way. The one with honey is, the ones with honey are Turkish and Greek style. But for the baklava, for the traditional Lebanese way, we don't use honey itself. We do our syrup, our homemade syrup, and it doesn't have any honey. It's just 2 cups of sugar, 1 cup of water, 1 tablespoon of lemon, and some lemon zest or orange zest. What I use is rose water and blossom flower water. So that's the traditional way that I've known of, ever since I know. So I don't know the honey, but for us, so the syrup, once it's baked, Sandy, yes, it does smell awesome. You can ask my husband, he's in the office, and I bet that the smell goes there. Jessica, I will reshare the recipe. I shared it yesterday on the sugar marketing group page and in the baking, and in baking with sugar marketing. So I shared it on both, but I will reshare so that you can have it accessible with the ingredients and everything. But it's pretty simple to make. Doesn't require that much as long as you have organized all your ingredients and in a way in which you can work properly with it without going back and forth. I know I went back and forth showing you different, like the different molds that I use and the different styles that I work with. So so I just hope that you like this live and the 2 ways that I make them. I know that the bites, it's not the traditional way, but I know that a lot of Lebanese people have like the idea because it's less messy and for weddings it works perfectly. So, but yeah, this went down pretty quick, maybe because my AC is extremely high, and I'm sweating here. So let me grab just 1 tray so that I can start accommodating it. Because those are going out tomorrow. I don't know, what did I do with that tray? I had it here. I'm lost. I found it. I'm sorry, but I found it. Give me 1 moment so I can put the camera on. Okay. Let's hope that it doesn't fall. Okay. So let me take this out. So again, for big quantities, I use this tray from the Dollar Tree. This is $1.25. This is what I get from the Dollar Tree. This is what I get from the Dollar Tree. You can use this one. Yeah, I can use just this one. Yes, just use this one. So it's pretty simple. So this is the tray. You just place them around. I place them all here because there are 30 of them and they're going to the same place. But if you're working only 15, you can just put it in the aluminum foil ones. Again, Dollar Tree has 2 for $1.25, so you can use those. Oh, thank you, Sandy. This is a recipe from back home, from Lebanon, so glad you enjoy it. So you just place them like this. I'm trying to fit them in here. Okay, they fit perfectly. Okay, so we have still a couple left. So we can just place them around here. Another one here. Another one here. And just continue just to pile them up. Put them pretty nicely and evenly. And this is the so this is the tray. Here right now you have 30 of the bites. You can just use a cellophane wrap it, and you have it. So this, you have, like I mentioned, there are 30 in here. You can sell this for 30, or if you want for 35 because of the packaging, and that's it. So this is what we have right now. I'm gonna put the rack back because the other ones are like 15 minutes away, so we can just take that out and put the syrup on top. But again, if you have any questions, you can go ahead and ask them. I want one. I don't know you guys, but I want one. I can have one. No one will notice. It's an activity I'm going for tomorrow, so. Right? So, yeah. Thank you, Linda. Thank you very much. It's my first live in front of everybody, so it's like scary. Because you are, I'm gonna be honest, you're awesome. I've been learning a lot with you guys, as picture-wise, as recipe-wise, decoration-wise, and with the college, it's been awesome. So I just wanted to give back a bit of what I've been receiving from you guys. So there's the list that I can do. So I know that November, a lot of people were wanting a live for the baklavas when I posted the picture. So thanks to Heather that she said, let's do it. So I haven't seen the twins though. So if there is no more questions, I will end this live, and I can see you ladies in 15 minutes for the finishing touches of the baklava trays. What do you say? Well, since there are no questions, I'll see you later. Bye.